Hello friends, and welcome back to these video classes. And in today's video class, let us discuss a little bit about group and team communication. If you know, human beings since the beginning of time have worked in groups. We are not solitary animals, and our survival is dependent on our sphere of influence. Now, with the emergence of corporate culture, we are increasingly working in groups and in teams. So, the success of an organization largely depends on how well equipped we are to communicate in teams and in groups. And therefore, it is important to understand the dynamics of group or team communication. I must confess at the outset that for any communication, be it team communication or group communication or public communication, the basic qualities of the word communication are sine qua non. They are absolutely essential. The basic qualities of a communicator. For example, you cannot have any communication, you cannot have team communication or group communication if you do not have the ability to listen to the other person. But before we venture into the dynamics of group or team communication, let us look a little bit into the difference between team and group communication. A group can be defined as the congregation of three or more individuals who are interdependent on each other and exert influence over each other. A team is also similar to a group, but they have a very strong affiliation to each other and they share a very strong common identity. And of course, a team works together for a common goal. One of the most important aspects of a group communication is the atmosphere under which the team or the group works. A hostile environment is not conducive for any team or group work. Apart from causing personal stress, it also leads to poor quality. Apart from causing stress, it also leads to poor quality of work. And that's why one of the foremost qualities of a team or a group communication is the presence of a very friendly but professional atmosphere. If the teammates are surrounded by hatred, jealousy, or hostility, they cannot be giving their best. Their output would be very low and of no quality, and they won't even be able to work freely. So, a friendly atmosphere is a must. However, the members of a team or group should know their boundaries and maintain a professional communication at all times. And the second most important quality of a group or team communication is mutual respect. If I respect the other person also respects me. If there is no mutual respect, that communication with trust cannot happen. This respect manifests in the form of listening to each other's ideas and opinions and many other aspects. The third most important aspect of group or team communication I would consider as honesty. Honesty is very crucial for any kind of communication, and of course, for group communication or team communication, it is a must. Absence of honesty can create a lot of confusion in the group because it may invite unwanted problems. For smooth functioning of the group communication or the team communication, honesty is a key driving force. And closely associated with honesty is yet another quality that is essential for any group communication or team communication, and that is accountability. And what is accountability? That means if, let's say, one person is assigned a particular task, it is that person's responsibility to see that the responsibility is carried out with utmost sincerity. He has to finish the task in the given period. And if he is not able to complete it, he must be accountable as to why he has not been able to finish that task. And if he has done a mistake, it's important that he owns up the mistake and tries to remedy it. The true success of any group or team lies in the true participation of all members. It is not enough just, let's say, only a few members talk. It's important that everybody takes part in the communication. Therefore, participatory communication is an important and positive trait of a team communication. Each member of the team should be equally involved in the process of communication and the workings of the team. And it is only this way that there can be a very successful team or group communication. Closely aligned with participatory communication is yet another trait, which is known as feedback or constructive feedback. Let us say when people talk, when individuals are interacting with each other, constructive feedback can go a long way in building trust and also improving quality of work. If there is no constructive feedback, then that group communication can be a failure. I use the word constructive feedback. Sometimes people can be vengeful and can give feedback just to put the other person down or just to destroy the other person. Such destructive feedback will never help. It only will result in destroying the whole communication process. So it is important to give constructive feedback. Although these elements are very, very important for group or team communication, much depends on the team leader. Every team, every group has to have a leader. A leader must understand the strength of each member of the team and accordingly allow that person to speak or communicate and give constructive feedbacks. The leader also has to keep the team together. It is possible that differences of opinion can emerge during the process of communication. But a good leader will always see that those differences are not blown out of proportion and the members of the team are able to agree to disagree. Further, the leader also should be able to build the team by conducting certain team building exercises and activities and thus promote camaraderie among all the members of the team. Of course, when there are disputes, the leader must look at the situation very objectively. The leader must not take sides. He should look at the problem and try to solve amicably. And that's when the group is built, the team is built. The leader should know when to appreciate and when to encourage and when to also at times he may have to reprimand. So he must engage properly and act accordingly. If the leader is biased, if the leader is weak, or let's say if the leader is insecure, that will lead to a lot of complications in the communications process of a team or a group. Because a weak, an insecure, and a biased leader will look into his own advantages, will look into how to survive in the given situation. But if there is a strong leader, if there is an objective leader, if there is a leader who is completely free from within, such leader will build the team. It is not only him that will grow as a leader, but every member in the team would also be growing with him as potential leaders. And I think that is the success of every team or group communication, where every member of the team grows to be a potential leader. Thank you very much.